If you're spending money on marketing and consistently generating leads for you and your sales team, but you feel like the lead quality is extremely poor, then this video is for you. Because I get it. It's frustrating when you find yourself saying daily, my sales team is mad because these leads are a waste of time. I'm sick of burning cash on ads and not knowing if it's even working. I want to grow, but my sales team is too busy chasing people who can't afford what we sell. My sales team spends all day calling people who don't even pick up the phone. When they do pick up the phone, my team is tired of hearing, how did you get my number? And the person is angry. And finally, it feels like we're just guessing and hoping that the next lead isn't a total waste of time. And there's just no predictability when it comes to getting good leads. My promise to you is that by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to drastically improve your lead quality so that you can spend less time chasing people who will never buy, stop wasting ad spend on cheap but useless leads, you'll increase your close rate without increasing your budget, you'll have a happier, more motivated sales team, and you'll actually generate fewer leads but way more sales because the leads that you do have are good quality, and you'll have a happy sales team like the one in the photo, because who doesn't want that? So with that being said, let's dive straight in. Tip number one is to filter your leads better. And let me explain. Because one of the biggest myths around marketing right now is that there's this top secret targeting strategy. Your agency or your media buyer might make you think that within these platforms there's a secret setting or a secret button that you push that'll automatically start hitting people who have lots of money, who are interested in your service, because that's what you think your competitors are doing. And you maybe think this way because of advertising agencies that try to sell their services to you, or media buyers. The truth is that there's no top secret targeting strategy. Everybody has access to the same data, and to be honest, it's a load of garbage to think that there's this secret setting to push that'll automatically get you quality leads that are ready to buy. It just doesn't exist. The key to get a flood of quality leads is not hiding in a targeting setting within these advertising platforms, because the truth is these platforms are powered by millions of data points, all powered by AI. Even with all of that, you still have to cast a wide net to reach more high quality leads. The secret lies in casting a wide net and getting good volume, and once you have that volume come through, you filter people better, because the true skills lies in being able to effectively filter the leads that are coming in. Because the golden rule with online lead generation is first it's flow. Once you have flow, then you work backwards and add friction and add more steps. So how do you do that? The first way to do that is actually by defining what is a quality lead for you in the first place. Every single day when we chat to business owners, I'm always surprised when I ask them what a quality lead is and they don't really have an answer. And I always make a joke that, a quality lead is somebody that appreciates what you do, pays full price, pays on time, and doesn't give you much trouble. But it doesn't actually get much more complicated than that, because when most people say a lead is not good quality, it's usually they are not the right fit for what it is that you sell. So they're not qualified enough, or they're not the right person, not in the right area, or something like that. And secondly, they might be a good lead, but now simply might not be the right time. So to filter out these two types of people, I suggest you do the following. You need to determine what is BANT for your business, and you need to complete the BANT formula. So the BANT formula is establishing with your dream client and your avatar, what is the right budget for them to be a qualified lead? What is the right authority, or who's the person that you want to get hold of? So for us, we obviously work with SMEs. So the person who has authority is usually the CMO or the CEO. So if we don't have that person on a call, it's very difficult for that to be a qualified lead, because they're not the decision maker when it comes to making the actual money decision and going ahead. The next is need. Why do they actually need this right now? What happened? What pain are they in that they need this right now? Because if there isn't any pain there's not going to be much motivation for them to take action. So for every business, for every service, there has to be a need right now. So for example, if you're selling solar, there might be load shedding, or you might have looked at your electricity bill and it's doubled over the last 3 months to a year, and now you just had enough and you're fed up. There's now a need for it. So you need to determine what this is for your customer. And lastly, timing. Why is now the time to act upon it? Why do you have to do it now and not later? So by determining what is these questions for your business, you are then going to add this to your lead capture form on your website or on your funnels when lead captures then happens. So what you must do is you must add BANT questions to your forms where you collect lead data. So this can either be on your website, on your funnel, wherever it happens, you need to be asking these questions on your forms. Because the biggest issue I see with our clients is a typical form usually looks like this. And these forms are notorious for sending poor quality leads and heaps of spam, and we don't want that. So what I suggest is adding your BANT questions to this form, because we don't want to stick with a lead capture form that looks like the previous slide. Because if you do that, the issue is that all leads get treated as equal when they're not. Usually sales teams will get about 10 to 20 of those types of leads a day. And if you're a salesperson, you've got 10 leads to choose from, which one are you going to go for? You have no idea of determining if this person is good or not. You call them, if they do answer, it's a waste of time. And you don't want to do that. Your team's resources should be spent on the high quality, good leads. Your sales team should look at the leads that come through and hand pick the good ones that they know they're going to close, and they can follow up more. Because also lead volume can tend to get quite crazy when you have a form that looks looks like that. So what that means is that you're going to miss out on the quality leads because you can't differentiate between the good ones and the bad ones because they all look equal. What we want to do is the sweet spot is usually about 3 to 8 questions on a pop-up form. You want to add your BANT questions to this form and you want to make your lead capture process longer. I know it's counterintuitive and immediately you might think nobody's going to fill in all this information, but the truth is if you add more friction, you'll have a higher quality lead because they actually have intent because they're willing to answer all these questions. That's the very important thing. So step number 1 in improving your lead quality is to filter better. So what I want you to do is add more steps to your lead capture process. What will happen is you'll actually get less leads, but because they have to jump through more hoops and put in more effort, this skyrockets lead quality because now you can see that there actually is some intent there. Tip 1, improve lead quality by identifying a qualified lead by determining what is BANT for your avatar. Then make sure your lead capture process is longer by adding all of these forms. This brings us to tip number 2, improving the offer, and it actually goes hand in hand with the first tip. So if I said to you, I will give you a free coffee, all you have to do is clap your hands once. You would say yes. I mean, that's a pretty good offer and it's not much work for me to do that. But if I said, clap your hands 1,000 times for a free coffee, you'd probably say, no, I don't want that free coffee so badly. Sure, there might be a small amount of people, tiny amount of people that might take me up on this offer, but what's the point of making an offer if only the minority go for it? You want the majority of people to go for this offer and take you up on it. So if I said to you, clap your hands 1,000 times, but instead this time, I'm gonna give you a lifetime supply of coffee, I would say that majority of people would probably take me up on this offer. So what I want you to understand here with this concept is if you improve the offer, you have more leverage. And if you combine that with making people answer more questions on a form, this dramatically improves your lead quality because you're combining intent with a desired outcome and now you make them jump through hoops. So by the time you do call them, they know and remember you and they're going to answer the phone. That's the concept there. Tip number 2, improve the offer. Improve lead quality by improving the offer so that when combined with more questions, the output is that you get high quality leads waiting for you on the other side. This brings us to tip number 3, the funnel. So please, if you are running ads, please do not send traffic to your website. If you're a lead generation or service-based business, you want to send traffic through a funnel. Because if you send traffic to a website, the average website converts at about 1 to 3%. You can see looking at the screenshot, if you see an ad that says one thing and then you land on this website and there's home, specialities, our team, blog, hiring, FAQs, contact us, new client, there's a lot of friction there and there's a lot of different pages and that really hurts conversion rates. So I know I said in the previous section, you should add friction, but there's good friction and there's bad friction if I'm going to be honest with you, and you don't want to waste your ad spend. Sending traffic to your website is a great way to waste ad spend. What we want to do is try and control the journey as much as possible to make the experience better. So the way to do that is a simple funnel. You're targeting your avatar, let's say Google and YouTube ads. You take them to a landing page that looks like your website, but there's no headers. So they land on this landing page and they must either give their information or leave. They click a pop-up, all of your BANT questions are there, and that takes them to a thank you page where they can call you, wait to be called back, or book a time. Like I said, a funnel usually converts anywhere between 5 to 15%, depending on how good the offer is. It's a contextual journey based on the service that's being marketed. It's separate to your website, but it works alongside it. The header is gone, so you either have to give information or leave, and it tends to convert about 2 to 5 times better than a website. Once they then land on this funnel, the offer is made, they click the pop-up, your BANT questions are there, 3 to 8 questions, they fill in their information, they then get taken to a thank you page, and what you want to do is give them an opportunity, the people that do have a need for it and the timing is important, you want those people to be able to call you, not everybody. So they've seen the offer, they've filled in more information, and they then call you. That's quite nice. That's a really great way to improve lead quality because now all of a sudden you have people calling you instead of you chasing them. And what we find is about 5 to 15% of people now be calling you, which is pretty nice. Just to recap, you want a landing page, you want a pop-up with a qualifier, your BANT questions must be there, and then give people a mechanism to call you because that'll improve the lead quality because they're chasing you and you're not chasing them. Tip number 3, to improve lead quality, it's to improve the funnel. Improve lead quality by improving the customer journey post-click, and you do this through a sales funnel. And this brings us to our final step. This is my favorite way to improve lead quality for our clients is you need to improve the data coming from your marketing and relay that to the sales process. And that finally brings us to tip number 4. You need to improve the data from the sales process by passing that on to marketing. And I'll explain what I mean now. So a great way to ensure that advertising platforms send you more reliable leads is to connect them to your CRM because you're getting them better data. On top of that, the single best way to improve lead quality is to use a technique we we call the straight line method. One of the biggest issues I see with online marketing, and this is with other agencies, this is with marketers, it's really frustrating, and it's people that brag about lead price. But lead price means nothing if the leads don't close into sales. The amount of times I get hit with ads daily saying, we improve our clients' conversion rate and lead price. The client's lead price was 200, we then brought it down to 100. We're such great marketers. I don't mean to throw stones, but it's frustrating for me because just because you're sending cheap leads doesn't mean that those leads are converting into sales. And you should take responsibility by following the lead from a lead all the way to a sale, and you should take responsibility for getting the client sales, not leads. And I get frustrated when I hear that. Another way to drive this point home is that if you have 3 campaigns, right? Campaign 1, you've spent 20,000 Rand, you've gotten 100 leads, and your lead price is 200 Rand cost per lead. Then campaign number 2, you spend 20,000 Rand, you've gotten 50 leads, and your cost per lead is 400, it's almost double. What most people do is they switch this campaign off. They go, it's too expensive, or the business owner goes, there's no reason why I should be paying 400 Rand for a cost per lead, that's ridiculous, blah, blah, blah. And then you have campaign 3, you spend 20,000 Rand, you've generated 1,000 leads, and you get a lead price of 20 Rand. The business owner goes, this is amazing, I'm getting a cheap lead. The agency pats themselves on the back, they say, we're getting cheap leads, we're such a good agency. The truth is, if you don't follow it all the way to the sales process, you're not gonna know what's actually working. And what tends to almost always happen is a scenario like this. Campaign 1, you've spent 20,000 Rand, you've generated 100 leads, 200 Rand cost per lead, and you've made 1 sale. Campaign 2, you spend 20,000 Rand, you've gotten 50 leads, 400 Rand cost per lead, but you've made 2 sales. That is by far the better campaign. But what most people do, most agencies, most business owners, is they tell you to spend more money on campaign 3. 20,000 Rand, 1,000 leads, and you got a lead price of 20 Rand, but it's made you no sales. What is the point of that? But because most people don't follow post-lead all the way through the CRM and see which campaigns are actually generating sales, you are wasting money and not getting sales, and that's why you get poor quality leads. What I found to happen 90%, the majority of the time, is that expensive leads are actually good leads because you've made more form questions, you've had a better offer, and you've made them jump through more hoops. And this friction makes the lead price go up, but it makes the quality sky high, and you close more deals. What would you rather have? A campaign that spends 20,000 Rand, you get 1,000 leads, you pat yourself on the back because it's 20 Rand per lead, or would you rather have a campaign that actually makes money? And that's what I want you to do to improve your lead quality. So for lead generation, obviously this data is super unclear because you just look at your Google account, your Facebook ads account, and you can't actually see which ones of these are actually generating sales in your CRM. The way to fix that is we set up UTMs that pull through with your leads so you can see where your best leads come from. A UTM is a simple tracking code you add to your marketing to see exactly where your leads are coming from so that you can follow them throughout the sales journey and see which ones are turning to sales. So for example, campaign 1 will say campaign 1 in your CRM. You can see that all of campaign 1 leads are unqualified, or they don't answer their phone, or none of them turn to sales. But campaign 2 has gotten 2 sales. Okay, cool. What we now do is let's give campaign 1 a chance. We switch off campaign 3 and we put more budget towards campaign 2 because that's getting us sales. And what do you know? Your lead quality improves, your sales team closes more deals, and everyone's happier. That's the fix. So we use a traffic dashboard. So how we do it is we manually consolidate at the end of the month where all of your sales come from. And then off of that, like I said, we allocate your budget accordingly. Tip number 4, improve lead quality by giving budget to the ads that are actually bringing in sales, not just leads. And when you see an agency or a marketer bragging about how cheap their leads are, you should be on high alert, red flag, because they don't know this technique and they're probably just sending leads for the sake of sending leads, and they might not be turning into sales. So there you have it. Those are 4 techniques you can use to instantly improve the quality of your leads. So let's just recap. Tip number 1, lengthen your lead capture form by determining your BANT questions and then add them to all lead capture forms on your website and in your funnel. Tip number 2, improve your offer so that when you add more questions, the combination of this will result in extremely good quality leads because you've lengthened the process, you've improved the offer, and the output of that is a really good quality lead. Tip number 3, make sure you're not sending ads to your website and instead design and create a contextual funnel so that the journey is clear. Tip number 4, please, most important, add UTMs to all ads and then consolidate all sales from the CRM with the campaigns that sent them so you can get more quality leads and better sales. So there you have it. Those are 4 techniques you can use to instantly improve your lead quality. I really hope you enjoyed this video and found it valuable. If you did, please click below to subscribe. I would really appreciate it. It motivates me to make more videos like this. I'm very early on the journey on this channel and I want to start creating more content. So if you subscribe and like or give me comments on how I can improve the process, I would really appreciate that. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.